Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. So this would be a continuation of our last video. So in our last video we have seen how we can, read an output from an API if we have a output like this. But in real case scenario we get a different kind of JSON format. First of all, let me do one thing. Let me delete these records first because these are dummy records. Let me delete them first. So now we'll change the structure of this JSON output and we'll try to make it similar as the real life scenario. Right, so it is giving us error. Okay, I think I cannot delete multiple at a time, so I'm going to delete them one by one. Let me delete this as well. Alright, so we are all good now. So if you see our previous one output, but usually if you will run any API, so you get output like this. You get this braces, you get these braces here. Okay, and here first of all you get your status. Okay, so like what is your status? Whether it is success, failure, right? So you get something like this in your real case scenario. Then you get data, and then here you have an array like this. So I already have an API available for this. So if you see this here, previously we were having our output like this. Okay, where these arrays were there, and inside array we were having object. But now we have make it as a bit different here. This is the actual data. This is just a boolean to show success and failure, right? And this is our complete JSON. Now we'll see how we can, read API like this. So let me go back again and I will again write all the code. Let me close. So I will click on add, I will create a reusable class and let me give it a name as 122. 121 is already there. Okay, even before writing the code, I will need to create here two contract classes. And now if you see this particular data, I already have a contract class for this, right? So in our previous video, we have created this one, Vend API contract. So I already have a contract class for this one. So I also need to have a contract class for this one, where I will need to focus on my status and data. So first of all, let us create a data contract class first. So I will say this, I will create new item, and I can say this as Vend API contract list contract. Okay, so let me say this as Vend API list contract, and I will add this class. I'll wait for a few seconds here. Okay, it's ready now. I need to create a data contract class, right? So I can simply write here my data contract, and let me save this. Okay, now if you see this, this is your list, right? And this is your normal, you can say either a boolean variable, or let us say this as a string variable for now. So what I will do, I will declare two variable here. Okay, the first one will be for my status. So let me make sure the status is smaller and data D is capital here. So I'll need to give name accordingly. Yeah. So then the second object is list, right, where we have more than one element. So I will define it as list data. Okay, and let me say this as Vend list. Okay, something like this. Now I will need to create two contract class for this, that as usual. For that I will need to write here data member attribute, and usually when you will work on your real projects you will need to put an actual label here, but just for demo we'll simply will not follow that practice. Okay, so here I can say public Then I need to specify my data type. I have to say param get status, and here I can say string. I can say status equals to my status, and then here I can simply return this. So I can say status equals to status, and at the end I can simply return my status here. And let me remove this or make it smaller here. Okay, so I'm done with this. Okay, I've already taken care for my this. Now I need to take care of this one. So I'm going to link these object with this class. So how to do this? Let's see. So now again I will write here data member attribute. So what is my name? Name is data here, or I think D is capital. So I'll say data here, and here I need to specify externally data collection attribute. I have also created video regarding this, so you can also check out that attribute. So here you need to specify. So type would be a class, then you need to tell which class. So my class is this, the last class, like Vend API contract. So I'm going to relate these two. So what I'm doing for my this particular output, I'm specifying that this is going to come from a different class named as Vend API contract. That's it. Alright. And now once this is all done, then I can create my param method here, as I'm going to get list. So I will say param get Vend list, and here I can specify list, and I can say here Vend list equals to, here I can say Vend list, and at the end I can simply write here Vend list. Let me write here again Vend list equals to, I can say this is Vend list, and I am going to return my Vend list here. So my data contract is ready. So we have already used this particular Vend API contract, and this is the new one that we created. Okay, now let us write the code. So here also we'll again need to write the similar piece of code. We'll only need to do certain modifications. So let me start writing here. I can say system.net.http web request. I can define my object as web request, and let me say system.net. This time I'm going to use my HTTP web response, this one, and I can say my web response is coming here. Then I can simply right away go and I can start writing my try and catch. I will say here try, and let me start writing code for catch as well. Now I need to catch my exception, so for that I can use my system.exception, and I will declare this variable exception here. We need to make it equal like this. Tab here, one more. Yeah. Alright. So now what we'll do, we'll write code for our catch, like to catch our exception. Do this. Okay, here we'll go. I will say this. Okay, exception equals to CLR int p dot. I can use my this get class exception here, and then I can say get base exception. Here we go, and here I can display my error at the end, and I can use this exception dot get message function here. And I will close this. Let me make it smaller. Alright, so our try catch is completed. Now we can focus on our main class. So this time, you know what I will do? Okay, this time also will add the content into our event group only. Okay, so I'll define all my objects. So as usual, I need to allow my the CLR access. So I can say ROP permission. Here I can define my this enum here. I can say CLR and then I can use my this set function here. Now I will simply call my HTTP this web request request equals to, here I can simply system.net dot system dot net dot web request, and I will use this create function. Here I will need to specify the URL. So this time I'm going to use this URL, and I will go back to my base and I will simply paste it here. Now this is ready. Now I will need to tell here what type of method it is going to use. Method equals to, I can say it will use my get method. Then again web request. This time I will tell my content format, that is my type equals to. So it would be application JSON, and then here I can specify web response equals to, from my web request I'll get a function that is get response, this one here, right? So this is completed. Now I need to define my those reader one. Okay, so I can say system dot input output dot stream, and I can say this as response PSPON, this is response stream, and then I can use here system dot input output dot stream reader. You can see this as reader, and let me define one more variable for output, or we'll do it at runtime when we'll need it. Now let me come back here. So we'll get a response here. Then once we get the response, then I can use this response string here, this one, response stream equals to, from my web response I can easily say get response stream. Then I can define my reader equals to new system input output reader. Here I need to specify my input output stream, that is my response stream, response stream. Alright, so this is a standard way to do this. Now once we have the reader, then we can define a variable named as str output, and inside this output string function output equals to, with my reader I can use this read to end function. So this will get me all the contents available into this JSON, and it will be stored into an string. Now the interesting thing, this is the same code that we have written in our last video. Now we'll do changes here now. So this time what we'll do, we'll use this particular class in output. So when list, second, when API list, okay, when API list contract, and I can say this as my JSON root object equals to, I'm going to use same class from JSON serializer, and I will simply say deserialize this object. At the last video we have used this deserialize collection because we were having a complete list, but this time we are having a different one. So here we need to specify the object type ID. So I can simply say class num. I will define my class name, that is friend API list contract, and then here I need to get my serialized value that is available inside this particular variable output. Okay, so this is completed. Okay, now here we'll get a list. Okay, so now I can say here a list variable, and I can set this as my list equals to, and if I will use my JSON root dot you, if you will write here param, so we are going to get when list from here. Okay, if we need the output, for output we can easily define a variable like a string output, something like string API output, and we can use that different function. This one, where is that? Yeah, this one, param get status, if you want to get the response. Again, here I will simply use this. Then I will use my list enumerator. I think I have not yet defined that, so let me define it right away. I can say list enumerator equals to, then from my list dot, I can use get enumerator function. Then this would be a simple list code. I can say while my list enumerator dot move next, and here I can get all the objects. And now here I will use this particular Vend API contract class. So I'll simply say Vend API contract. I'll say contract equals to, from my list enumerator dot, I will simply say current. If we come down here again, we'll do the same thing. I'll use my TTS begin here, and I will simply and TTS commit here. Right, and here I need to define my when group table. I will say when group, and here my when group dot when group equals to, from my contract I can get my param when group ID function. I'll close this. I will write here again when group dot, like this time it would be name equals to contract equals to contract dot param vendor description. So when group dot, I will use insert function here. Yeah, that's it. Alright, let me make sure I don't have any record available in my event group. Okay, we don't. So I'm going to do a build here, and then we'll see how it goes. So our build was completed, and also the runnable class is also completed, and the data is also available here. So the code is completely working as expected. So there are few changes that we did. So here, let me expand here. So you see this Vend API list contract. Okay, so we have initialized this class. We have used this deserialized object. Here we specified this particular class, and we told that this is the output. So the system was automatically able to recognize this particular pattern because we have already created data contract for this one, status and data. Okay, but system was able to identify, okay, you are right, but it haven't identified that inside this data also we again have a list. Okay, so for that we have already created a separate contact class that we created in our last video. Okay, and let me again go back to code now. Yeah, here we simply got this one. Then here we use that Vend list function. Okay, and if we iterated through our list, okay, and then we, for every element, okay, using our list current function, we got that data and we simply did insertion, and we applied all the stds we can commit. So thank you for watching this video. Have a great day ahead.